Part 2. Let's get to it.
Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of our workflow on PixInsight. So we're going to open our stacked image that we did in part 1. So we go to open, and we have it right here, which is a master with drizzle. So this is our stacked image from last time, right? On our right here, we have all the things we're going to use for this video. So this is everything I use myself for all my images. I rarely use anything else. As a matter of fact, I use sometimes, I would say half and half, the dynamic background extraction, which is right here. I use that one instead of the automatic one, you know, depending on the target and stuff. But for this video, we're gonna use the automatic one, since it's more straightforward and faster. And it's really, you know, it's really great. You will see it's really fast and it works really well. So this is our stacked image. As you can see, it's really great. I think I told you guys already, but it's really great. I mean, I'm actually pretty impressed with the result. First of all, I would do a dynamic crop, which you can find over here somewhere, dynamic crop. So with this one, you could just drag what you want to crop out. There's a bit of vignetting right here, as you can see, but it's not bad. If you... Like, I don't even think we need any cropping for this. Like, it's actually really good. I could crop here, but let's leave it like that, because I really like this framing. So we're going to start with the ABE. This is to take care of the vignetting and also taking care of the light pollution in your image. So with the automatic one, you can simply apply the process. So just pick one here, subtraction or division. Subtraction is for the light pollution, whereas division is for the vignetting. So we can try both. Let's start with division. We're going to apply this to our image. We don't change any settings. This is the easiest way to do a background extraction if you're a beginner. And let's see if it works. So this is dark, of course, because we don't have a stretch yet. So let's take care of stretching that really quick. And it's really ugly compared to our original image. This one you can delete. It's just what it took care of, so we can just delete that. And actually, there is almost nothing. I mean, I see some on the edges here, but so if you compare those two, as you can see, it's really, the quality is really bad, but you can see much more details in the nebulosity. So as you can see here, we can see this gas here, whereas here is all blurry. We cannot really see any gas, but here is really great. So same for here, and same for, you know, inside the nebula itself, like especially right here. See? So that's a good thing. We're going to keep this image, this new one, and now we're going to try applying subtraction on our new one. You could try applying it to the original one as well to see the difference, but I like to do both at once, and if I like it, I just keep it. Okay, same thing here. We're going to stretch our new image, and we get this once again ugly result, but we have this we can delete. See, it shows us what it took care of. So as you can see, it took care of this corner here. So if you compare the two images, this is all black and vignetting, and there is none here, so it's a good thing. So this one right here we can just delete. We don't care anymore. So now it's between this guy and this guy. And you know what? I'm going to go with my guts, and I'm going to go with our second image. Once again, this is just an hour and like 15 minutes, so I'm not really expecting much. If I was really expecting something crazy, I would do a DBE instead, but this is fine. So we're going to put this away and close that. Alright, first step done. Now we have step number 2. So deconvolution. What is deconvolution? So you could do this with a star mask. I like to make a clone of my image first, and I don't want to use star mask just yet. I like to do a clone reset my stretch, and use my histogram transformation to get as many stars as I can without getting the nebula. So I'm going to do maximum quality here, open this wide so I can see really good. And I'm going to just get the stars and not the nebula. So as I was saying, deconvolution is to make the stars in our image a bit sharper, but also make them a bit rounder in some cases. In our case, it's already round, like the tracking was pretty good, the guiding. But if you have some wind and there is some bad stars, you could potentially fix it with this deconvolution process. So see, if I go left, I see my whole image. I don't want the nebula though. So I'm going to go down over here. So pretty much in general, those two here are always very close to each other. The right one is for bringing out the stars, and the left one is to put the blacks. So we only care about the big stars, right? So that's fine. So we can close that. We are going to apply this to our clone. And it's always a good thing to reset our process. Dahlia keeps messaging me, so she wants to know what we're eating tonight. And so we're going to we're going to drag this tab to our main image. And this is a mask. So the white parts are what's going to be affected, and the red parts are what's going to be protected. So if you do invert mask right here, it shows you the opposite. But we want the stars to be affected, so we invert the mask again, and now the stars are white, which is good. So we're going to hide the mask. It's still active, but we're going to hide it. And now we're going to use deconvolution. So here my process is already loaded, but what I changed is I put this number here at 2.9 and the shape at 6 to make it as round as possible. That's what I usually do, and I always make sure to do one iteration only, not 10. Normally it's 10. Actually, I can just show you. If I reset, see, I just put 1 here, 290. We're going to make a preview on some stars, some bright stars. No, that's fine. And we're going to see if it's working. So deconvolution doesn't often work. See, like you can barely see any difference. Let's zoom on star. See, it's bad. What I noticed is if you invert the mask, it's actually better, but it also adds some noise, some grain in the background. So see, that's good, but I don't want any more noise that I already have. So I'm going to just apply it to this mask like this. It's almost no difference, but let's do it anyway. So deconvolution is not something you want to do all the time. It's only if you really want to, if your stars are bad. My stars here are perfectly fine, so I don't have to do it, but I always do it anyway, just because. And I'm going to reply to Dahlia. Spaghetti or lasagna? Let's go spaghetti. Okay, so 2 done, about 8 to go. So now let's take care of the noise. So we're going to take off the mask, remove mask, and we're going to open the ATWT, which is Atros Wavelet Transform. And the only thing I change here is I go to activate K sigma noise thresholding, and I usually do 3.80 here. So we're going to once again do a clone and reset the stretch, open histogram, reset of course here. We're going to open this, preview, and now is the opposite. We don't want the stars now. We only want the nebula. The nebula and the stars, I guess. The main thing is to have a really, really black background, because our mask is going to affect the background. So if it's super black and the nebula is really popping out, then it will only affect the black. So we want really, really strong blacks and really, really strong, a big difference. It has to be obvious. So I'm trying to is not black enough for behind. That should do it. Alright, that should do it. We're going to apply this to our clone. And now we're going to slide our clone to our main image. That's another mask. And now, mask, show mask. See, we're going to invert the mask, because we don't want stars to be affected in the nebula. So see, now it's red here because it's going to be protected. I'm going to hide the mask again. I should really learn those shortcuts. And the preview here is fine, but I really want to include the nebula just to make sure we don't touch it. So let's include a bit of the nebula and the space behind. She's happy to eat spaghetti. Okay, so we're going to now we're going to apply this one to this preview, because those can take a long time to load. So if we do it on a preview first, we know we don't mess it up, and see if we like it, because sometimes I don't like to do 3.8 or 1.0. I sometimes reduce that, because if you do too much of this, it might look really blurry at the end and not really clean. So you don't want to do it too much. You don't want too much noise reduction. Noise can be good sometimes to make, you know, the background a bit crisp. So, see, as you can see here, it's a bit too much for me, I think. But this is a preview, so I'm not really sure. Let's do a bigger preview. Like almost the whole image. Let's see. Let's see if it's too much or not. Actually, it's fine. It's not too much. It seems like it's a lot, but it's not. So let's apply this to our entire image, like that. Okay, that's pretty good. It's still noisy, but we're going to take care of that later with a different noise reduction process. So I'm going to take off the mask, and as well, I'm going to take off all those messy previews. And now we only have 2 left in our linear process, linear phase. So it's going to be really quick: background authorization and color calibration. So I like to open them both at the same time, and this is to correct the background and the colors. So we're going to first do a preview. I should have cropped actually, but it's fine. I'm going to do a preview on the black. I don't want to touch nebula, okay? I just want to make sure it's on the outside of the nebula. So for example here, and I'm trying not to get any stars. If you want to zoom in, you could. But also, you see how my background is kind of not the same shape, not the same color everywhere. So for that, I'm going to make 2 previews. One here, and one like on the other side. But this is nebula, for that, to be careful. Maybe right here somewhere. It doesn't seem nebulous here. So here looks fine. So I have 2 previews of different colors each. So one thing I learned is, come on Dahlia. She's proud because she got some good grades. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so you go to script, and if you go to utilities, you can see a script for a preview aggregator, which should be preview something. Yeah, preview aggregator. So open that, and so we have 2 previews here. We're going to create a preview of both of those combined. So we press OK, and see we have 2 different previews in one. So that's a good thing for the background. And I'm going to make a 3rd preview with the nebula itself in it, like so a bunch of stars and everything. And now we have to go to background first and add our aggregated picture. Let me see if it's the correct one. Okay. So we're going to add that one here. So now it's those 2 combined, as well as I like to go here right away. I put the white reference, which is a nebula, so preview number 3. And I'm gonna go here and put the same one as the background. So now everything is ready. I'm not changing any numbers. So first background, let's apply this to our image. It's really quick normally. And then we have color calibration that follows. Alright, so we can close that, we don't need it anymore. We can close this one too. We can close our previews. Okay, you can stretch if you want to, but you will see that I'm not going to, just by curiosity. I'm going to actually reset that stretch and close that entirely. So now we're going to the non-linear phase, and we're almost done actually, it's pretty fast. To go from linear to non-linear, we're going to use histogram transformation. So before, I used to just drag my STF to here, but I don't do it anymore because we have more control if we just do that right away. So I'm going to make a preview of this. Okay, and now I'm going to play with the sliders to get the best possible image. So first of all, let's go all the way, not all the way, but way left, so you can get a clear picture of what we got. And look at this number here. You want to make sure it doesn't change, because the more it changes, like, well, on this example, it's really bad because it goes from 0 to like 2 million. But if you start seeing it like go up like 1, 2, 7%, just stop at 0, because the more you go up in those numbers, the more it clips some colors and details. So you always want to make sure it stays at 0 here. So I think it's kind of glitched, so I have to not look at these numbers. So I'm going to stay here for a bit now. I'm going to just play with those sliders to see what I can get. And I'm also looking at here the histogram curves. I want it to be on the left. I want it to look beautiful. This is kind of not beautiful. The green is fine because we're going to take off the green later. So it's kind of tricky with this one because we don't have much data on it. So the noise really pops out really quick. So we got some good details here. Now we just want to make it darker, but not too dark. I like to keep it very light until the very end. That looks good to me, actually. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Let's go with that. Okay, I'm going to close that and apply our histogram transformation to our image. Alright, now we are officially in the non-linear phase. So, first things first, we take off the green, because no one likes green, right? I sometimes do 100%, but if I don't want to take all the green out, I do 80%, that depends. For this target, I think I don't want any green in there, so let's try that, because it's supposed to be blue. Let's see if we like it. Alright, that was before, after. So see the green from the nebula just left, so that's fine. And next thing is morphological transformation. That's a really cool one. So what I do here is I pick diamond structure. I leave those at 5 in general, yeah, always 5. And amount, once again, it depends, either 1 or 0.8 or 0.5 sometimes. So this, we're going to use star mask for this one. This is to make all of our stars less intrusive. So I usually do 8 here, and this I do between 4 and 6, so 0.04 or 0.06. Let's try 0.06 and let's see if it works. Because the noise threshold, I believe, is depending on how much noise your image is. You don't want the process to think that a noise pixel is an image. So you can play around with those settings. It takes a while to create a star mask, but usually 0.04 to 0.06 is fine. Sometimes 0.04 will give you like really small stars and your mask will not work. So that's why I'm not risking it. I'm doing 0.06 here. Okay, so we have our image right here, the mask, and as you can see, pretty much all of our stars are in this mask, which is good. So let's try to add this as a mask right here. We're going to make this smaller, and let's see if the stars are actually being affected here. So as you can see, everything is red but the stars, so that's a good thing. So let's apply this. Let's start with 1, and if it's too much, we're going to reduce the slider a little bit. Alright, let's see the difference. So before was like that, and now... Oh, I haven't done that. I would say it's fine. I'm going to... I don't want to reduce that. No, I think it's fine. Sometimes you really have to reduce that because the stars are already so small that it makes them way too small, but like that is fine because there is a lot of bright stars right here, and that's fine, that's enough for me. So I'm going to be happy with that. Now, one of my favorite processes is the HDR multiscale transform. So I'm going to remove my mask. No, actually I'm going to leave my mask here. I'm going to invert my mask so we do not touch the stars. And I'm going to make a preview on our nebula. So this is for bringing out the details. Now, when you open this, all I do is I press lightness mask, and usually here I do 5, 6 or 7, and I sometimes do it twice or 3 times. So let's start with 6. So I made a preview here so you can really see what it does on our nebula, and you will see the details coming up really well. This is a really good thing for targets like galaxies or nebula that have a really great amount of details in there. So as you can see, if we do undo, it brings out all the details in the very light area here. Now, see, you can see all the gas. Before it was all white, now you can see all the gas in there. Now, that might be a good thing, but I think it's a bit too much because M78, is famous for having 2 really bright areas. So I'm not going to do 6, I'm going to go to 7. So the higher you go, the less, the brighter is going to stay. And the lower you go, the more light will be vanished to bring out details. But 7 should be good, I think, for this target. Because I still want some light, in there. I think I like that one. Let's apply it to our final image, our main image. Let's see if overall it looks fine. Okay, that's pretty good. I don't think for this particular target I'm going to do it twice. We can try just by curiosity. Let's see. Let's see if another 7 would be good for us. I really don't want the bright area to go away completely, so I don't think so, but let's see. Tempting. Very tempting. Because now I could see the black parts here. Ooh. Very tempting. Yep, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. It's too tempting. Let's do it. Okay. Maybe it's too much. Now the light is all gone, but just so you know, I'm going to show you really quick if you go really low, what it does to your image. It's a bit too hardcore for me, but like if you pick 3 for example, you will see it's going to be... See? You can see inside, but there is no light at all. But anyway, so we're done with this. If you have trouble with your stars, like I have a star mask right now, so that's fine. But if you have like really bad stars, like dark points, like dots in there, in your bright stars, after doing this process, you should try with deringing right here, which might help. But usually with a star mask it's fine. So now we have 2 main ones left. So ACDNR, which is, as I told you guys before, for the noise. I'm gonna take off the mask. And the colors, which is one of the best parts. So let's do SCDNR. So what I do here, I check lightness mask on both tabs, and we're going to open this. It's kind of confusing at first, but let me show you guys. So we're going to press preview first, then preview here. Now we want the nebula only, and we want a really white background, kind of like we did earlier with a black background, but here it's the opposite. We really want a very white background and our nebula visible. That should be fine, I think. Yeah. I'm going to uncheck preview, close that. I like to make a clone first so I don't mess it up. Check preview again, I know it's confusing. Now we're going to apply this here. We checked preview again, so when we apply it, it's going to apply as a preview, so as a mask for us. Now we can apply this here. Okay, I'm going to make a small preview. Alright, so as you can see here, it's a bit noisy, and when we add this process, it's making it a bit more, I wouldn't say more blurry, but you know, a bit fuzzy, so it's less blurry, it's less grainy. So we're going to apply this to our main image. Okay. Now once again, you could do this like 2 or 3 times if you want to. I don't think I will because I don't want my image to look too fuzzy in the end, but that's fine by me. But if you really have to, just do it 2 or 3 times. So that's fine. We're going to take off the preview. I'm going to keep the mask for my last process, which is the color saturation. Before I do that though, like in between there, like around this area, I like to do curves. I don't often apply the curve. I'm just going to disable my mask right now real quick. So I don't like doing the curves too much. I know it's amazing sometimes to use this to make the image much better, but so in general, you would like to go down in the beginning and up at the end. This is to make the background darker, and here is to make the bright areas, you know, popping out better. And we need that because we just did a lot of HDR in the course. So let's see. I don't want to make it too bright. So just go with your guts and don't make it too dark. You do not want to make your image too dark. I made this mistake once, which I will show you right here on my video, with M75 group of galaxies, and I lost my TIFF file, so I cannot fix that. But when you make the sky too dark, the end result is bad. Anyway, so let's see if this was good. Yeah, I would say it's better. A bit better. So let's apply that too. And then we're up for our last process, which is, besides HDR, my favorite one so far, and it is the color saturation. So I'm going to reset that. Range to 10, and just click, make a few points here so you can edit those. The red is already made, but just click around here. Try to stay straight. The mask that I used earlier, I'm going to add it again. So enable mask. So that one, I'm going to invert it because I want the nebula to be affected. Right now it's red, so it won't be. So I'm going to invert it. Perfect. And I don't want to see it. Okay, so we're going to make a preview. You can click here if you want to see which colors exactly you want to have on your graph on the right here. We have some blues, we have some more blues, a bit of orange here. I feel like the sky in general is too red, which I might fix later. But here we have some purplish color. Anyway, so let's add a bit of orange at first. I just go very high so I can see what's affected. But I don't go too high, just maybe that's too much. Here is fine. And then blues, of course, not too much. Sometimes people do it too much and it's just not, doesn't look real anymore, you know? It was like a painting, which can be fine sometimes, but like it's telling me I should go higher, but I don't want to. And just so it's not too harsh. Okay, let's see. That's pretty good. I want some more of this. Some more of the orange here. Okay, and you can also make a star mask to if you don't want to touch the stars. But right now it should be fine. So the blue should be enough. Maybe a more cyan. Okay. And now, since I don't like all this reddish color around, I'm going to invert my mask. Wait, first I'm going to apply this. And you will see a tremendous difference. Okay. And now I'm going to check the mask, invert mask. And lower this. Try to have everything straight again, and let's try to bring the reds down a bit. That helps, kind of. Yeah, kind of helps. Not too much though. Luckily we have no reds in our nebula, but because around there is a red nebula, like lots of red gas. But I didn't use my filter or anything, so I don't want... the red will look like it's just pollution, so I don't want that. So I'm going to... that's enough, I think, for now. Yeah, that's enough. I'm going to be a bit more just the reds, yeah. Alright, let's apply that. And we should be done, pretty much. So once again, guys, remember there is all the files you need on a shared folder. You can go to the link below to try your own. So part 2 is pretty much done. I think I'm happy with the colors here. Once again, for being 1 hour and 15 minutes. But at the end, you could once again do either curves or histogram transformation really quick if you want to enhance your image one last time, but usually I don't do it too much. Let's see if it's better. Why not? Okay, so we're done with part 2. Part 3 will be about not PixInsight. So PixInsight is all done now. Part 3 will be about Lightroom. And maybe we'll see another program to really finish our image completely, and also remove those artifacts right here. So this dust or this hair and this weird line that I have here on my sensor. So we're gonna remove those two things with Lightroom, and maybe add some more saturation or take off some noise. We'll see. So yeah, at the end, just don't forget to save your image, of course. Save as, and I'm going to save as M78 TIFF. And always keep your TIFFs if you can. Okay. All right, that's done. So I'll see you guys for part 3, and yeah, I would love to see if you guys can get a better image with PixInsight. Once again, this was a really basic workflow, but it's been working for us. And if you like our images, then it means you like our workflow, because that's what we'll be doing for pretty much all of them. And oh, one thing I forgot, sorry. If you go to script once again and utilities, you might want to use dark structure enhance, which can help you with bringing the darks in your image. So this sometimes works well for nebulae. Sometimes it's just overkill. Let's try really quick, and if we like it, then we'll save it. Okay, let's see. Undo. Oh yeah, it's pretty good, see? There's much better darks here. So I'm going to keep that actually. Yep, I'm going to save that actually. So save as again. And yep. Alright guys, so I'll see you for part 3. And yeah, clear skies, as always. Bam.